Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this evening's presentation.
How's it going, lads? It's the Bald Boomer Biosparks with another Burning Crusade classic video. With the official release that was announced at BlizzConline, I'm sure many guilds will be making their plans for the first tier of raiding, and this of course will include Karazhan. So today, I'm quickly going to talk about one of the most important things guilds should do in their first clear of Karazhan, since it will be very beneficial for them in the long run. Just before we start, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has supported my channel so far, and if you like what I do, please hit that like, subscribe and notification bell, because there will be more and more Burning Crusade Classic content coming as we get closer and closer to launch day. And now, let's get straight into the video. When you arrive at Karazhan, there are going to be two limiting factors that will be a barrier towards a player's character progression. The first is going to be the lack of void crystals, and the second is going to be that the boss Nightbane is locked behind a quest chain that is also locked behind another reputation barrier. These two issues can be solved by simply doing a full trash clear of the lower levels of Karazhan in your first raid, and here's why. At the launch of the Burning Crusade Classic, void crystals will be very important simply because of the enchants that people will want that require them. As you can see, the amount of void crystals you need for these endgame enchants are not a joke, and many members of your raid will need them. And the problem is further exasperated by the fact that there just isn't an abundance of epics that you can disenchant that early on at launch. So when we look at the lower levels of Karazhan, it's filled with ghosts that will drop a valuable item quite often: Soul Essence. The reason why these are valuable is because a tailor can use 8 of them combined with a bolt of netherweave cloth to create a bolt of soul cloth. These can then be crafted to create either soul cloth gloves or soul cloth shoulders, which very conveniently disenchant into void crystals. The only catch here is that the recipes for the items also drop off the trash, which means you're not guaranteed to get it in your first run, but when it does drop, you will have banked quite a few soul essences, which your guild can quickly start converting into more void crystals and help your raid get their best in slot enchants. Also, if we assume that an average 25-man guild will have a bench of 5 players, that's potentially 3 runs of Karazhan a guild can run every week, which just multiplies the amount of void crystals a guild can produce. So if you're looking for a long-term supply of enchanting materials early on, then this trash clear is definitely something you can do to keep up with the demand of void crystals needed. Moving on to the second reason why you want to do a trash clear is because of Nightbane. As mentioned before, he is locked behind a reputation barrier and a quest chain, so if you simply walked into Karazhan and cleared the whole raid, you wouldn't be able to complete this quest chain in your first week. I'm sure many people will want to clear the entirety of Karazhan in their first week, as it can leave you with a feeling of incompletion if you don't. I mean, imagine back in phase 1, you get into Molten Core and you can't do Majordomo Executus or Ragnaros because you didn't have people with the Aqua Quintessence to douse the runes. Same thing applies in Karazhan. By simply doing a trash clear of the lower area of Karazhan, then resetting and doing a normal run, you will reach Honoured by the time you finish the Opera event. When you go back outside, you can pick up the Nightbane quest chain, which will require you to speak to some NPCs marked in yellow after the Curator boss fight, which will then lead you on to fight Shade of Oran and collect a quest item. At this point, your raid can clear the rest of Karazhan normally. Only 5 people will be needed as a bare minimum for the next part of the quest chain, so your raid can either take a break or return to finish Nightbane on a different day, whichever suits your raid best. Continue the quest chain, which eventually will send you to Area 52 and then task you to kill the first bosses in Heroic Shattered Halls and Sethic Halls. If you followed my dungeon grinding reputation guide at launch, which you can find in the description below, then you'll have no problem gaining access and grabbing these quest items. Once that is complete, finish off the quest chain to be given the urn to summon Nightbane, and your raid can complete Karazhan in their first lockout. So if you invest some extra time in your first Karazhan raid clearing the trash, you'll be able to begin stockpiling void crystals for powerful enchants with your guild, and be able to clear Karazhan in its entirety every single week. Also, Nightbane is needed for Serpent Shrine Cavern attunement, so this will help your guild be ready when the time comes to raid it. Not bad for just spending a bit more time in Karazhan in your first week. And lastly, here's the path you want to take to make sure you clear enough trash before you do your full Karazhan clear. And that's all for now. If there's a particular topic in the Burning Crusade Classic you'd like me to cover in the future, let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like or even a subscription if you want to see some more Burning Crusade Classic content in the future. This is the Bald Boomer Biosparks, signing out. Catch you lads next time.